everyone. I'm Lauren Smoller, and I'm here today with Dena, Larsen, Gazeley with Ophelias Place. And we're going to be talking today about why body image is the last to go and what we can do about it. So Dena Larsen Gazeley is the Director of Education for Ophelias Place, a nonprofit organization, and the Every Body is Beautiful project. She's the owner and operator of All Bodies Consulting and Bloom Fit Body Positive Fitness, and a Bloom Fit Body Positive Fitness professional. And she integrates her 31-year journey with eating disorders, past decade living in recovery, as an educator, public presenter, and consultant, and commits daily to serving others through eating disorder education, body image awareness, and self-care. Welcome, Dena.
Thank you, Lauren. I feel so humbled. Oh.
So I'd love to start by talking to you about why body image is the last to go in eating disorder recovery.
Yeah, I know 9.5 years ago when I was inpatient in treatment, and hearing that body image is the last to go, that was so deflating and defeating because, I had only known, having lived in my eating disorder, a binge eating disorder, anorexia, bulimia, from the age of 8 to 39, I had only known body loathing. I had only known body hate and knowing that there was something wrong with my body. So the thought of this, needing to commit to recovery from the only way that I needed to live, and knowing that this would be the last piece to go, was difficult. And I think what is really, really important to start to understand is to start to connect first. If everybody out there was to close their eyes and to remember that first moment where we heard the message that our body was not good enough, right? If we were to close our eyes and go and think back, when was that first time? Because we weren't born hating our bodies, right? We weren't born as babies sucking in our tummies or asking for retakes of pictures, right? Or hating our arms. Like, this is something that we have learned. And what is so beautiful is that if we've learned this, we can unlearn it, or we can learn we can learn differently, right? And so going back, I know for myself and for many people that I work with, when I think back to those initial, whether it was something that was directly said or something that I made up, those messages came from someone who loved me, right? From a family member, from a friend, maybe from a pediatrician. But where did they learn it? Right? Because people who love us would never say something to intentionally hurt us or make us feel bad about our bodies. They learned it the same place that we learned it, that we live in a society that our parents and our teachers and our medical community is in the same society that is conditioned to believing that our bodies are not good enough. Well, two things. One, that our bodies are not good enough. And secondly, that we have the ability to control and change our bodies, right? That there is this socially constructed, right? These are made up rules, that there is the ideal body type, and that we should all be working to attain this body type, which is typically a body that is straight sized or thin presenting, right? And industries are profiting through this fear and shame, and by telling us that if we do X, Y, and Z, if we buy this product, this program, right, this pill, that our bodies too can look like this. But it's a false promise. If we look just at the diet industry itself, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that is profiting from a product, from a promise, right? A promise of hope. They're selling us a product of hope that has a 95% failure rate. And when we think about like that, learning about that definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. To me, that's the perfect description of a diet. That if I do this, then my body will look like yours. Well, what if my body is supposed to look like my body? Yeah. Right? And what if that this ideal that we are literally killing ourselves in order to try to attain, what if it is truly unattainable, not because there's something wrong with me, right? But because there's something wrong with the messaging that we're receiving through society.
So how do we find freedom from the shame?
Well, I know for myself, the first 7 of the last 9 years, my first 7 years working recovery, my behaviors were in check, right? I was living behavior free, but I was still saturated with this shame and hate around my body. And what it took, there were two things that happened about 2 years ago, right about the same time. The first was going to a dietitian that had the health at every size approach. It was the first time in my life that I had sat before someone that literally told me, your body is normal. And it was this amazing light bulb went off that I was given permission to be in my body. She never weighed me, not when I got there, not when I left, not at the next appointment. That it was truly that we are having a conversation around health and wholeness that has nothing to do with my shape or size. But then how did I believe her, right? So she planted this seed, but then how did I believe her? That's where Ophelia's Place and the Everybody is Beautiful project, that's where the education piece came in. And that has completely transformed my experience living in recovery from my eating disorder and in recovery from body shame, right? Not that these thoughts and, negative body image or body shame, not that they don't pop up, because I'm human, right? And we are continuing to still live in this society that is built on systems that are literally both oppressing and terrorizing certain body types, right? That we are living in a society that based on made up rules. Like if we look historically, if we look in other parts of the world, that we know that these are made up rules, that thinness is better, right? But through education, right? By reading the books and listening to the podcasts and surrounding ourselves in a community that is committed to the advocacy work that everybody is beautiful. Shape, size, color, race, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, ability, right? That we are truly, that we work together in educating ourselves by those that are doing this work, right? That we support them, we feed in here, and all the pieces start to come clear that there is nothing and has never been anything wrong with my body. There's something wrong with this fat phobic, right? This fear of fatness society that we are living in, and the constant messaging that we are living under, that perfection, right, is attainable.
So can you tell us specifically about the Everybody is Beautiful project and what Ophelia's Place is doing?
Absolutely. So where I spent so many years telling my story, my story from living in my eating disorder to living in recovery. And it was really, really good for 7 years, whether that was here locally in Arizona or Washington, D.C., like really good at telling my story and wanting to move people based on the intensity of living in an eating disorder, right? But it's not about me. Like, this is what I've learned. This is not, my story is just a grain of sand amongst so many other stories that are needing to be told, because really eating disorders, we're really truly talking about life and death, right? But until we challenge and change the systems that are keeping us in body shame, how can we find this true freedom? So we at the Everybody is Beautiful project, we've developed a 4-month intensive program. It's called the Everybody is Beautiful project digital course, where we go in community, we go deep. 4 books, 4 live book discussions, 9 podcasts from experts that are doing this work, recorded expert interviews that are exclusive to our program, and the Body Project training. that we offer within, and Lauren, you know, the Body Project training. Why the Body Project training? Backed by NEDA, right? The only evidence-based training that has been proven, scientifically tested and proven, to decrease eating disorder thoughts and behaviors, body shame thoughts and behaviors specific to young women and teenage girls. So within this 4 months, we walked together. We walked together in this journey of dissecting. I mean, we could spend all day together talking about weight stigma and weight, shaming and body politics and Sonia Renee Taylor and Dr. Lindo Bacon and all of these fabulous people who have helped us to collaborate and form this foundation of this program that we can now deliver. It's that step into advocacy, right? It's from here's my story that you and I can sit down and we can share experience, and then let's talk about the why. This is why my story, my experience is important, right? This is why that we need to come together and we need to educate ourselves, and we need to start to really question things like the BMI, right? The body mass index scale. Why is not based on feelings, not based on my opinion, but why? What is the scientific research that shows us that there is no integration of weight and health? That they're two separate things, right? So the Everybody is Beautiful project, we are committed to education, and this 4-month program, this self-directed digital course, all available online. It's for everyone, from those that just have the nudge of what if I could live outside of diet culture, right? What if I could accept my body right now, just as it is, without having to change? All the way to I have these fabulous participants in New Zealand, in Amsterdam, and London, England, that they are literally they're professionals in this field, whether that's mental health or the eating disorder world. And so we, again, coming together in this supportive community where we are committed to everybody being equitable and being beautiful.
Great. So I think just to wrap it up, where can we find out more?
Yeah, absolutely. So on Facebook, you can go to Ophelias Place. And we have 2 locations, physical locations, one in Liverpool, New York, and then our Ophelias Place West is out here in Gilbert, Arizona. All information is available online. So you go there, you go to our education and fill out the inquiry form. That comes right to me. And I have the best job because I get to walk alongside the participants and the members who are doing this work, right? And then seeing them graduate and become alumni, that they're out there in the world and all of the amazing, and when we talk about work, right, all of the amazing work, like that, I have a 13-year-old daughter. That amazing work starts right here in my home, right? Around the water cooler at work. That amazing work starts in these conversations that are happening at work. Amazing work, but those that literally have platforms of thousands that can take this content and share this information. What's really important to remember, though, and especially with our audience, is that recovery comes first. And that we are committed to honoring that we know, all of us on our team, that we know that personally how important it is to keep that energy invested inside when we're early in recovery, or maybe going through a difficult time. We can't pour out until we pour in, right? And so that's a conversation that we do have early. Anyone we welcome everybody, and we want to make sure that this content and this program and this community is uplifting for you and the advocacy work that you'll be doing.
Well, thank you. I know how passionate you are about this program, and now everyone else gets to see why. So I look forward to we'll link Ophelia's Place in the bio about this NEDA connection, so people can go directly and find out more. And thank you for sharing with us today.
Excellent. And the Everybody is Beautiful project, that would be available on Instagram. And same thing, look in our bio and all the links will be there. So we're out there and we're excited to have you join our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.